Previously on Baldur's Gate 3.
Praise Sylvanas. No, that's not right. Praise you, my friend. The Grove owes you a debt beyond measure.
Yes, and I hear you are the one to thank. I'm grateful.
I chose to protect us.
Silence! The rite has been ended. I will allow you to stay, but consider yourself a novice anew.
There you are. I've been waiting. Waiting since the moment I set eyes on you. My old master. Before the Mind Flayers took me from him. Before this strange, twisted freedom. Khazad-dûr is a vampire lord in Baldur's Gate. The patriarch of his coven, and a monster obsessed with power. Not political power or military power, I mean power over people. The power to control them completely. He turned me nearly 200 years ago. I became his spawn, and he became my tormentor. Not him, no. A gang of thugs attacked me, angry about a ruling that I'd handed down as magistrate. They beat me to death's door when Khazad-dûr appeared. He chased them off and offered to save me, to give me eternal life. Given that my choices were eternal life or bleed to death on the street, I took him up on the offer. It was only afterwards I realized just how long eternity could be. A vampire's spawn is less than a slave. They're a puppet. We have no choice but to obey our master's commands. They speak, and our bodies react. It's all part of the deal. Sometimes he'd order us to submit to torture. Sometimes he'd have us torture ourselves. Whatever his weather-vane mood settled on. Thank you. But this isn't about sympathy. It's about knowing what we might be up against. The Mind Flayers aren't the only monsters out there. They're not even the only ones hunting us. All I'm asking is that you keep your eyes open and watch out for anything lurking in the shadows. What more could I ask? Now, is that all? Who knows? Drow? Mind Flayers? Death? Hopefully not ours. But maybe answers, if we can convince the right people to talk.
Wandered into a forbidden area. You sense it might be time to leave.
Death won't take me yet.
There's blood in the air. Let's move. What's that?
That might be worth a look.
Not a chance I'll fit in there.
Rotating plates. Symbols. Right. Clear as mud.
What's that? This goes very far down. We'll have to go in to see the bottom.
Such depth to the shadows. I don't care what others say about the Underdark. It's beautiful down here.
I'm used to a crypt's gloom. This is something else.
Get back! More effort than a pit of spikes. Credit where it's due.
That might be worth a look. These fungal spores are everywhere.
The hells was that? We better not get buried down here.
More are coming.
Who? What in the hells are you?
They're coming. They're coming.
Careful. If we can hear it, perhaps it can hear us.
They are coming. You are coming.
Slender drow blade impales the stone before you, keeping a silent vigil. This blade was a warrior's sacrifice to Elistray. Blood can only be honored with blood. The drow script inscribed on the blade flickers and glows. It rises from the stone, hanging in the air in silent offering.
Huh? A bullet. Those things are vicious.
What path lies before me?
Let's turn someone inside out. Outmaneuver them. Tormented!
To me.
The hammer's gonna fall.
Time for a cup.
Need to act fast.
All right, Karlak, it's go time.
Where do I go from here?
Can't give up. Not now.
This is my happy place.
I'm exhausted. Better find somewhere to camp soon. Trap. Be cautious. There you go. There's a trap. The Zentarim. Mercenaries and cutthroats. Useful friends, if you can afford them.
Damn, it's good to be alive.
All right, what now?
What's the story? Ready for this?
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times.
Be careful. There are traps about.
Doesn't work.
Copper for your thoughts? You really did it, huh? Not worried about adding more illithid into the mix? Well, what can I say? You look fine, smell fine, seem fine. And yet, you're more mind flayer than ever. Hope you don't expect me to follow your lead in this. do they? I'm not sure either of us can say one way or the other. We don't know what the costs might be just yet. How do you do that? Always making sense when I least want you to. Fine. I'll keep an open mind, all right? I can promise that much. Now, are we done here?
Well met. I think that unknowable powers come with unknowable consequences. I can't say I'm not curious, but once you take an illithid by the talon, there's no telling how deep into the abyss it might drag you. I appreciate where you're coming from. Truly, I do. But these parasites are quite literally illithid weapons of war. And I'm not so certain they won't be turned against us upon consuming them.
What's on your mind?
It's always a pleasure to see you sauntering over. Darling, I thought you'd never ask. I'll see you tonight.
You wish to speak? Precious little. But I'm quite certain it can still be found. Those illithid creatures threaten the natural order. It's my duty to do what I can to stop them. There's also the Shadow Curse. It's an affront and must be cleansed. I helped overthrow Ketheric Thorm and his Dark Justiciars years ago, but I failed to prevent him from unleashing darkness across the region before he was defeated. If I can join you and get close to Moonrise, perhaps I can lift this curse, just as you find a cure for your infection. Well, there's hardly anyone left to share the responsibility with. Few who witnessed the fall of Moonrise still draw breath. What Ketheric Thorm unleashed is not something that nature can undo by itself. I must do what I can. I studied the Shadow Curse for years, but to truly understand it and stop it, I must reach its source. Perhaps, but we'll need to get closer before I can put my theory into practice. Put it from your mind for now. Once we near the curse, then there will be more to be said. Precisely. Then perhaps I could have done something about both the Shadow Curse and Ceremorphosis aberrations. But in my eagerness, I put far too much faith in the abilities of Aradin and his band. We didn't even get close. Miss it? Oh dear, no. It's a terrible burden. Takes you away from nature and forces you to deal with others' problems and personalities. Be wary of anyone who actually wants such a role, I say. Likely they don't understand it, or they have ill intent. I'm just glad to be out here amidst the Oak Father's creations. Wonderfully. If I'm honest, the grove was too comfortable for my tastes. I felt removed from nature. I'll miss my books, but I can find all the wisdom they contain out here, firsthand. I'm sure something will come to me, given time.
Hope you're keeping well, friend. Master. Friend. I stayed with him until I knew he was gone. I'll never forget him. But I'm glad to have met you.
Promised I'd be back. Don't worry. I have things under control. For now. I see you've been using the powers the tadpole gives you. Good. But things haven't gone as you expected. You hoped a druid as powerful as Holsin might be able to remove your tadpole. But he couldn't. You're desperate to be rid of it. Understandable. But you're looking for solutions in the wrong places. Your parasite is unusual. It is wrapped in magic that prevents its removal. Until the source of the tadpole's magic is destroyed, any attempt to remove it will kill you. You were lucky that Holsin knew this. His instincts are right. The parasites were merely a symptom of a greater sickness in Faerun. I'm not sure yet. To find the answers, we must first find the source. These parasites are more than illithid spawn. They are vessels for control. The infected hear the voice of the Absolute and believe it to be a god. That is how the cult of the Absolute is spreading. The highest of their rank, the true souls, carry a tadpole just like yours. It is how they receive their orders. It is what makes them obey. When the order to transform is given, it will not be a matter of days. They will be mind flayers in an instant. Were it not for my protection, so would you. It's complicated, but I'm an adventurer. Just like you. Just like you, I was infected with a Mind Flayer parasite. Just like you, I seek to be free of it. I've been trying to escape from this evil for a long time. Once, I almost succeeded. Now, through you, I've been given a new chance. You can go where I cannot, and I can protect you from that evil. If we work together, we may turn this around. Hells. They need me. I have to go. No. I can handle this. For now. The power I used to protect you, I stole it from someone. They want it back. I will hold them off for as long as I can. But sooner or later, I will be worn down. You must discover the source of the magic that controls the parasites before that happens. The cultists are gathering at Moonrise Towers. Use the powers your parasite gives you to convince them you are one of them. And when you find the source of their magic, destroy it. Go. Our freedom depends on it.
I had another visit from that dream figure. I take it you did too. It claims that if we infiltrate the heart of the cult that's giving out these parasites, we'll find the answers we're looking for. It gave me another gift, too. Just like it did the first time it appeared. Rather generous, if you ask me. And if that fails, then there's always killing them quietly. Now, was there anything else?
I had another dream. Which, I suppose, means you did as well. Whoever's reaching out to us truly does seem opposed to the Absolute, but wants us to embrace the tadpole. Venture right into the heart of the cult. Perhaps we truly have a secret protector. Or we're walking into a trap.
Another dream. Another order from that dubious visitor. It announced that we will find the answers we seek in the Absolute Cultist's lair, and offered another generous gift. A persuasive creature. It tempts us with power, expresses its admiration, its adoration. Avert your eyes whenever it appears, and do not avail yourself of this new power, no matter how alluring. You've no idea what damage it could do to us, how far into illithid madness it could drag us. Battles are won with swords, not mind games born of brainworms. The ones we fight with these cultists will be no different. And there will come a battle, of that I'm most certain. The one truth that fell out of the dream figure's cankered lips.
The dog wags his tail, a small bag clenched between his teeth. He gives in and surrenders his find to you. Scratch's tongue lolls out happily, his tail wagging even faster.
I had another dream last night. The visitor came to me and ordered me to penetrate the heart of the very cult that's spreading the infection. It gave me a tadpole gift too, just like it did the first time it appeared. I suppose it hoped this would help. At first, I thought we should avoid these gifts no matter what advantage we gain. And yet, I can't help recall the words of my father. The best plan is the one that works. These powers could be enough to edge us towards victory. Very well. If it's mind games these parasites wish to play, we'll play. And we'll win. I think that unknowable powers come with unknowable consequences. I can't say I'm not curious, but once you take an illithid by the talon, there's no telling how deep into the abyss it might drag you. All right. What else is on your mind?
I've been dreaming of our enigmatic visitor again. She told me our purpose was to take on this cult of the Absolute, to infiltrate its ranks and bring it down from the inside. She even offered me greater powers, the result of some manipulation of the tadpole's psionic abilities. Given the magnitude of what we're up against, I see no harm in considering the benefit this offer might afford us. Could be the only way to reach this source in one piece. As existential evils go, the Absolute certainly seems an adversary worth halting in its tracks. Any opportunities for us to indulge our tadpole's capabilities are hardly on the same scale. Trifles, when one considers the bigger picture.
Another visit from the Golden Paladin. It said we'll get the answers we need about the tadpole if we infiltrate the cult. It's a fair point. I just don't want to take a short-term boon. I want to win this whole thing. To finish off the cult. To get this tadpole out. To stay sane the whole time.
That's curious.
Tim asks, known to cause confusion, best not get too close.
Timask and torch stalks. Hell of a combination. Get confused by one, blown up by the other.
You are swallowed by a chorus of turbulent music. Through one creature sing many voices, the harmony of an entire collective.
Sovereign, she has come. She is here.
The choir fades. A single melody rises above the others, brassy and commanding.
I am sovereign.
You see a vision. Your lifeless body wrapped in fungal tendrils. The Sovereign is threatening you.
State your purpose.
You detect a distinct quiver in every note. These creatures have experienced recent tragedy. Fungal roots weave through your mind, seeking your true intent. Then the Sovereign drones a new melody, cautious but welcoming.
Descend to me. Let us speak in flesh.
The persistent music coaxes you forward. The Sovereign expects you.
What is the creature doing to
The Sovereign's thick fingers stroke the corpse at its feet. A droning melody greets you as the creature turns its gaze to you.
Flesh talker. I show you a memory. Watch and listen.
A violent vision grips you. Dwegar, dark dwarves chopping myconid remains.
They broke our peace. They killed our young.
The Sovereign's song slows to the pace of a dirge. It is still in mourning.
We laid waste to many, but intruders remain. Lakewood.
The Sovereign's song halts as it measures your worth.
I sense your resolve. You will find Dwegar invaders near Lake's Edge. Cleanse the rot. Destroy them.
Deep purples swirl into familiar shapes. Gnomes in mining gear, chased by Dwegar.
The Dwegar seek a gnome. It is a guest.
An illusion comes over you. A Dwegar choking on a cloud of gleaming dust.
Accept this gift. It will help you exterminate.
The Sovereign gifts you one more vision. A wall of vines parting to reveal glowing light.
Riches of magic and mind. Cleanse the rot, and they are yours. You do the Circle a service. We will await word.
Ah, a visitor. You're a welcome sight. But let us observe the customs of the locals.
The scholar's brow tenses. His voice spills into your skull, the spores connecting mind to mind.
Blurg, proud member of the Society of Brilliance, at your service. perhaps not. Your mind is far more complex than that of the fungi. Understandable. We are small in number and rarely stay in one place for long. My colleagues and I are working to improve conditions in the Underdark. This need not be such a dire, hostile place. It's curious to find a surface dweller here. What has brought you down so deep? Truly remarkable. But why come to the Underdark, where they hold so much power? You were infected by an illithid tadpole? It's a miracle you're still intact. You must be worried sick, but have no fear. I have a friend who may be able to assist. Omelium!
I hope this is important, Blurg. My Zerkwood samples need constant attention.
It is. This adventurer has an illithid tadpole inside her head, but she hasn't turned.
No ceremorphosis. That's impossible, but intriguing. Are you looking to have it extracted? Open your mind to me. Let us see what lurks within.
As the Meloan's mind pierces yours, the tadpole pulses with power. It feels 10 times its size. Alive, awake, almost smug.
This is most unusual. The incubation period should be complete, as should your transformation. But the larva is infused with strange magic. It appears to be in some form of stasis. No, it appears to be shielded from physical and magical influence. And even without the shield, the extraction would involve severe cranial trauma. It is not ideal. The process would surely kill you. But not to worry. Should you transform, I will happily perform a new examination. A Nautiloid? Fascinating. I have never set foot on one myself. They were our warships during the greatest eras of the Illithid Empire. We ruled the entire astral plane from their decks. The design was lost when the Gith rebelled and ended our dominion. Of course, I am sorry I cannot assist you in its removal. But I have an idea.
Oh, perhaps I should start taking notes.
There may be a way to bypass that stasis. There are many alchemical substances that can influence the mind. A tincture distilled from a collection of rare mushrooms. They have subtle psionic influence. I would require a fresh ton of madness and Timusk spores. But be warned, in their natural state, both of these mushrooms can be quite dangerous. Timusks cause confusion in those that approach them. The tongue is self-explanatory.
The Underdark, of course, although they are quite rare, and their discovery perilous. I imagine Lenore would have them in her possession. She served Mistra as a cleric. The southwest when I last saw her, although her tower does have a tendency to move.
May your travels be safe and swift. I have never seen anything like it, Blur. Is my species evolving?
Welcome back. Have you made any new discoveries? Yes, but it has abundant natural resources. Spores, water orbs, Trillimac. I've studied them for years. This is not a wasteland. It is a glorious ecosystem. Every civilization here could thrive without conflict. The feeling is mutual, friend. I have only passing familiarity with the surface races. But I found that there is as much to learn from an individual as there is from a community. So it is with the Myconids. They live in harmonious unity, but each has a unique personality. I observed the fight from a distance. Combat is not my field of expertise, but the Myconids handled themselves well enough. I do enjoy a good bargain, if anything in my private collection is to your liking.